G'day, welcome back to the 40 channel. So as you saw in the last video, we had a whole lot of cranking going on and not much firing. And we didn't put too much effort into it because I was not quite sure. It was just a bit of an excitement. And I said, you know, let's give it a crack. Today, we're gonna try to focus on getting this thing fired up. Anyway, let's get straight into it and see how we go. Righto, so there's a couple of things that I've done just before we wanted to start it up because there was a few things that I found straight away. So the first thing I did after we pulled the pin, we couldn't put any more time into it. It was a late night, then we had to go to work, and here we are a week later. The first thing I found, you're not going to believe it, Jack, I had the fuel pump in the wrong way. All I've done is turn that fuel pump around. The other thing that I've done is I've plumbed in all your little vacuum lines. So there's little vacuum lines to solenoid valves and little tanks and all that stuff. I wasn't 100% sure where it went. I couldn't get straight answers off some of the forums. I couldn't find any pictures because it's tucked right inside the firewall of the Falcon. So today I actually just pulled up to a random FG Falcon owner and said, do you mind if I look under your bonnet? Traced all the lines. That's all plumbed up. I have no idea whether that makes any effect to starting of the motor, but it needed to be done anyway. We still haven't plumbed in any of the cooling system. Chemtool starter fluid, hopefully that'll get us into play. So you can hear that now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right,
just see what it does.
Tell me what that does.
It had like, it's open like tiniest bit. But
when I start giving it a go, just give it a bit of a, okay, ready?
Yeah.
Oh! Go again, a bit more. Come on!
That was running in line with whenever I sprayed it. So I think.
Right, so we're still not
the fuel.
Still not getting the fuel, but it fired up. Wow. All right, so still not getting enough fuel through. But anyway, let's try a little bit of accelerator when we get that going. Righto, give it a little spray to start with. Righto. Now we get nothing. Right, so we had it fired up and now we can't even get it to fire up. Getting close. A little bit of spray and hopefully that'll... Come on.
Wait, stop. Where's that coming from? Smoke.
Oh, it's smoke from the wiring. Ooh, righto, that wire there is very hot. What is that wire?
It's not smoking.
Where?
Yeah.
I think that, oh, crikey. I think that goes straight to the starter motor. Yeah, we've seared a wire, we've melted a wire. Only one wire in there, I think. Ooh, yuck. This is our wire here. Look at that. That is melted bad. That's not good at all. Righto, very close. Obviously the starter motors aren't meant to be cycling so much and pushing so much power through. You normally kick it in, one go, fire up. We've overdone it by trying to start it and we've fried that wire to the starter motor. So it's just the wire going from the battery to the starter motor. That's all it is, thank goodness. I'll rip it off and we'll replace it. We'll make sure that we've got the right size wire on there. I'll sort that out. Jack's about to go out camping with all his cousins.
Good fun.
So leave me here for the weekend to try to sort this issue out. Hopefully we'll get back to it and righto mate, thanks for your help.
All good.
We're getting close, buddy. Righto, so talking to Jim from Sideshow Performance Wiring. We're talking about fuel lines and how I had the fuel pump around the wrong way. And you're not going to believe this, Jack. From what I understand, I've got the fuel lines around the wrong way now. So I've pulled them off. I know. I've swapped the fuel lines around, just pulled them out, turned around, put them back up again. I thought I'd wait for you to turn up. Let's give it a go, mate.
Alright, turn it over.
Turn it over. Woo! Get it ready. Alright. How good is that? Sounds sensational. Shut it down. There you go, that's all it was. As simple as fuel lines. That's it, well done, mate.
Let's go.
Righto, so cooling's got to be hooked up to it yet, so just waiting on a couple hoses and fittings for that. And aircon, hook that up. That's it, we're done. Put everything back together, drive out of here and get to your BARRA. So, pretty awesome.
Yes.
Alright, let's keep playing around, bits and pieces inside and outside and move forward. Aluminium heat shielding. So it was brought to my attention that we're going to need some of this aluminium heat shielding in front of the starter motor. I love it when you guys jump on and give me really good positive hints that are going to not only help me but help anyone else down this road that's going to be doing the similar conversions. Comes in very close to the starter motor, and as one of the guys commented, we need to put some heat shielding in there just to keep that starter motor a little bit protected. This stuff, it's easy to cut. We can just cut up some scissors that we got from Tool King, nice and easy to cut. Measure it up, it's easy to bend, it's flexible. We've measured our 2 holes, we're gonna bolt it up and we're gonna start molding it around and figuring out where we need to fold and bend from there on. Up in this point right here, I don't know if you can see it, it had this original bit of exhaust guarding on it. Now we've pulled that off because we need to make something that will protect the starter motor. So we've just bent this up. It's very simple. It uses the existing 2 bolt holes from this one. We should be able to push that straight up into there. Just like that. Right, how good is that? That is so simple and so easy. And we've used the existing heat shield, as I said, as a template. We've drilled the holes, we've bolted all that up in place. Now we have a shield between the exhaust and the starter motor to give a little bit of protection on that. Now, a question was asked, why did we run the exhaust the way we did? The reason we did that was to follow the original line of the exhaust, picking up all the original exhaust bracket mounts and all the original heat shielding, which works out really well. So it means we didn't have to cut anything out as far as coming around under your supports. Righto, so for the cooling pipes we used a Commodore rear hose and we chopped it and it worked for half the bottom and for the top, which worked really well with the Aeroflow swivel thermostat housing. On top of that we used a little bit of a genuine BARRA hose and we cut them and we joined them and brought it all together. So, righto, because this motor's been sitting around and when we pulled the water pump off, there's a little bit of rust in there, a bit of corrosion. This is a brand new radiator. So we're gonna do a little bit of a trick that Mark taught me. Some pantyhose. So yeah, it was a bit weird me going in and buying pantyhose. I should have sent one of the girls in or Shelley in. All we're gonna do, it's gonna run like a filter. So anything that's gonna come out of the engine through the coolant, it's hopefully going to get caught up in this before it goes into the radiator. We'll give it a good run, flush it all out, pull this in, and then hopefully it'll be cleaned all up. You can actually buy radiator socks that pretty much do exactly the same thing, but you're paying a heap more for them. Nice little trick, this one. Thanks, Mark. So just a coolant flush, doesn't matter what you get, some type of flush. It's all going to get emptied out anyway. a couple of little things to address. We've had the motor running for about 10 minutes. That's its first time running with coolant and everything hooked up. So we've just been going over the whole thing with a temp gauge, make sure nothing gets too crazy or too hot. The spinnable thermostat housing is leaking around the top. So obviously that O-ring in there is not sealing correctly. So we'll need to wait for that to cool down. We need to pull that off and have a look. We've got a little bit of a leak out of our power steering fluid at the top. There's no O-ring or anything at the top of that, so we need to seal that off. And I have a very small little fuel leak just to the entrance of the fuel pump. So a couple of little things we need to sort out, which is good. So that's the longest we've had it running, and everything's sort of just starting to get up to temp, but we thought we'd better pull it up and start to address all these little bits and pieces, let it cool down and sort it all out. But anyway, we're getting there. We've just had that running for 20 minutes and we have no more leaks, so that's great. So the thermostat housing is no longer leaking, so that's great. It was just the O-ring on the actual thermostat itself. We sealed off the power steering reservoir, it's no longer leaking, and the fuel just needed to be nipped up. So that was fantastic. It was a great test. We saw the thermo fan come on, we checked all the temperatures. We know that we got up to temperature here for 91 degrees where the thermostat should have opened. What a ripper. Motor's running, everything sounds pretty good, everything sounds pretty smooth. We had a few monitors on it this time. The digital dash that we've got on here is really, really cool. We're still getting it sorted out. And next episode, we're gonna give you a big review on it, how it works, how it plugs in, how it works with pretty much any motor you put in a 40 Series Land Cruiser, giving you that similar classic look with new tech. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Pretty stoked with this episode actually. Got it started, got it running, fixed a whole lot of little issues. Now we need to focus on a few other bits and pieces and then hopefully get ready for engineering in less than a week. So we're running out of time fast. Anyway, until next time, take care of yourselves.